Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brothers Take podcast. My name is Kris. I am joined once again by my brother Eric,
Hello.
and we are back in the room to talk about the 2024 Game Awards, the 10th anniversary show of the prestigious awards ceremony held every single year. The Keeleys, as some people like to call them as well. The Jeff Keeleys. And we're going to be talking about the award show. We're going to be talking about some of the reveals from the games showcase that's also there that would have caught our eye. And we're also going to be revealing who out of me and Eric got the most predictions right and which one of us is going to be buying the pizza this year. Eric, what do you think? Are you feeling confident?
No, not at all.
Neither was I as it was going through.
Uh,
But then I don't think we were when we made the predictions either.
God, no, we weren't.
No. But yeah. So once the intro music rolls, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump straight into the conversation to give our thoughts on this Game Awards, and we want to hear from you guys too. If you're watching this YouTube, make sure you jump down into the comments to share your thoughts, your personal highlights from the Game Awards, whether you feel anything got snubbed from the Game Awards, whether you think anything needs to change in the Game Awards. Any of your thoughts whatsoever, we want to know. If you enjoyed this episode, please do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for all future content. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on the Game Awards 2024. But without further ado, let's talk Game Awards. I thought they had a nice way of addressing the whole, like, last year, or the year before last, some of the speeches went on far too long, in particular Christopher Judge, right?
Right.
And they had a hard time trying to get people to wrap it up. Then last year, it felt nearly disrespectful to the award ceremony. They kind of over-course corrected with, like, this music that would play after about
Right.
30 seconds of talking to, like, wrap it up. And I think that was the big, like, a lot of people were complaining, going, it basically wasn't an award ceremony. It was basically just a game showcase. And every so often they're like, yeah, here's your award, yeah, go away.
Yeah.
And I thought the inclusion of the two Muppets this year as the sort of commentary throughout to kind of say what the audience would be thinking, but also using them as sort of the wrap-up gag of the, oh, you're boring me, Jeff, move on. What's with all these trailers and all that kind of thing? I thought it was a funny way of them, like, sort of making fun of their own show, where it's like, we have to do the show the way we have it because we have advertisers and all these things.
Yeah.
But we can also acknowledge that we are listening to what you're saying, and yeah, let's poke fun at the things that people have problems with the Game Awards.
I didn't really. I actually didn't pick it up that way
Okay.
with the Muppets. I thought that was a really weird. I thought there was some weird gags, jokes, comedy things in this. More specifically, when people were taking jabs at each other. So to me, the Muppets was like taking a jab at the Game Award, which I thought was very weird. Which maybe, it is what you're saying, which is their acknowledgement of people's feedback and then using the Muppets to be that feedback. But that's not how I picked it up. I just thought it was like they're trying to be funny, but it's like this is an award show, not a comedy show, which is why people weren't really laughing at them until the end. They only were laughing at them at the end because
they finally realized, oh, it is a joke.
Yeah. But it's also like
it's another the fucking Muppets, lads.
It is the Muppets, yeah, true.
That's the whole gag. Those two old guys, all they do is roast things. That's their. It'd be like if you had Kevin Hart, hosting the Oscars or something. He would roast all the celebrities, and that wouldn't be.
That's most of the time what the comedians do at the Oscars, suppose, is roast people.
Yeah, and it's not to be distasteful to the Oscars don't matter or anything like that. It's just this is the entertainment part, and we're kind of, we're going to poke fun at yes, it's serious, but also let's have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They just never land, I think.
Sure.
Because even like there was another one which I thought was a really just odd joke. I was like, what's going on here? Was Todd Howard and Troy Baker were on?
Right.
And Todd Howard mentioned about how, oh, you've never won an award for best performance, did you, Troy? And I was like, Is that what a weird thing to say? It's just unnecessary. It's like
Is that true? I need to look back. Is that true at the Game Awards?
I don't know. I'd be very surprised that he never won anything. He was like
He's in
there was a
everything.
time he was the go-to guy for stuff. Him and
But
Nolan.
then, but for the particular time period of the Game Awards, I wonder,
Maybe
has he actually won an
there
award?
was
Um,
another jab between Aaron Paul and Laura Bailey, and even I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"What's going on here?
Well,
Why
I mean,
is
that was
everyone?"
so clear that like Aaron Paul is more famous than Laura Bailey.
No, I
But
get that.
but they've entered the gaming sphere, and in the gaming sphere, Laura Bailey is the hot star, you know.
Yes.
And it was so clear what the joke was there, no?
No. They're all clear what the jokes are.
Yeah,
Even Todd Howard's comment was a joke, and like you know what I
yeah,
mean, like
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
little thing. But I just think it's so. I don't know. I came into this with like, this is a really weird way of doing comedy. Is like, how about I just belittle the people I'm with? While you look at Sam Lake's comedy,
Yeah, I thought that was good as well. That worked.
I thought that was way better. I thought we could all enjoy that because that was yes, it was an act. Yes, it was a joke,
Mm.
but it was playing on Sam Lake's way of storytelling with Alan Wake and Control and stuff like that. And I thought there was kind of a cute comedy to it, like even his like little mention of maybe I'll do a little dance. I know I'll
Yeah,
save that
yeah.
for later. Like
His
I
facial
th-
expressions and everything were good too.
yeah,
Especially
like he
when he
just
mentioned being
performed it
jealous
well.
about the nominees,
Yeah.
and it looked like his eyes were actually welling up.
Yeah.
It was done quite well.
He performed that quite well, and there was no dig at anybody. Like
Yeah,
I don't mind. Like I'll happily sit down and watch a Jimmy Carr show. Like you know what I mean. I
yeah, yeah.
understand. But I just thought it was like at an award show, it's very weird because you have a
Fair
room full of
enough.
people with massive egos, and
Yeah,
their sense of comedy is
I
that's
I feel like that's the best time to do that kind of jokes is when you have a room full of people with massive egos. It's like you need to peg that down, son. You need to calm down
but
and
like
become human again. Like,
yeah, I don't know, that was
you know?
weird. I don't know.
Like at the end of the day,
Maybe it's just the delivery. Maybe it's just because it's
maybe.
so scripted.
I think yeah. I mean, there's an element of for all these types of shows where they're doing the gags and stuff, and there is an element of cringe to
Yeah,
a
maybe
lot of the like even the some of the actors that come out and talk to each other and stuff. Like there is an element of like this is a bit cringy, and even some of the trailers.
Hi Dina.
Yeah,
Okay.
like even some of the trailers with like the voiceovers and stuff are kind of cringy, but like it's just different audiences and different demographics and all that stuff. So the humor of the show didn't land for you. What did you think of the show overall?
Um, there was a point when I was like, Jesus, this is long.
This is every year, right? We say this
What?
every year.
That it's long.
Yeah, it is long.
Yeah.
It's too long.
Right.
Every single year, it's too long.
Yeah, so I was thinking like, Jesus, this is long. But then I thought to myself, maybe I just forget every year that we say that it's long every year.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
think to myself, maybe it's longer because it's the 10 year.
Nah, this is the same length. Yeah,
Right. Okay. So it was too long. And
yeah.
we probably say this every year as well.
Okay.
Give the awards. It's the award show.
Yeah, yeah.
We should be having the awards at this more at the center rather because there was a point where I think they did. I think the first one they did was best performance. I think it was the first award that Jeff Keighley had said because there is the pre-show and there's awards there too. So I think it was like best performance. Then there was like 4 or 5 trailers before we got to the next one, and I was like, there should be like 2 or 3, then another one.
Yeah,
Then maybe
it
2.
goes a while before you get awards, and then some of them just get rattled off.
Yeah, and it's just like
And it feels like they're less important or something, and that importance is placed on certain ones. And that aspect they do it every year. It's always weird, and it always does feel it's like it's kind of like it's like you're trying to cram too much into one show, and
Right.
yeah,
right, but that's where then I would take out like the bits with the Muppets and stuff because it's then like if you take out any of those bits that actually are unnecessary for if you found it funny, you found it funny or entertaining or whatnot, but it's unnecessary to the game show, the Game Awards show.
right,
Because like Snoop Dogg came out and he had natural humor to him.
This
and
is a
natural
Snoop
order.
Dogg. He
It's
is
Snoop
funny.
Dogg. He's a funny guy. There you go. There's almost no script there. It was Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, yeah.
Sam Lakes was delivered quite well. I thought the bit with the two actors who play Dina, while their intro was cringy. I thought the point when one of them said, I'm just riffing now because there's nothing on the prompter." I thought that was very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they could tone down on big long speeches of people.
Stop trying to entertain us and just do the show.
Well, I mean, the game, like the trailers,
Is
will
the
entertain
entertainment.
us.
Yeah.
Is the entertainment,
And the
then
music.
and the music, and then when the people go up to accept award, they can make the speeches
Yes, of course.
because it's their award, and they should
Yeah.
get to make a speech.
Yeah. I felt that this year's show was, I think, better than last year's. I think it was a good, like, all the things you're saying I agree with, but I also know what I'm going in for nowadays going into the Game Awards.
Right,
I'm
okay, fair enough.
expecting a level of this, and I'm expecting them to rush through awards because that's what they do every year. I'm expecting them to have too many trailers. I'm expecting it to be too long. My hype levels this year were actually really low. I actually wasn't that excited for the Game Awards.
Same, yeah,
Tell
yeah.
the truth. And I think it was a little bit front loaded, but I have to say, within like 20 minutes of it, I was like, holy shit. You know, they're really pulling out a lot of stops here. I mean, they got fucking Harrison Ford at the Game
Yes.
Awards. Like, that's massive. Like,
Yeah.
that's probably why there's so many trailers, just to pay for him to be there. That. I just can't imagine what it must have been like for Troy Baker on stage with Harrison Ford,
Yeah,
knowing that he's after playing him.
yeah.
And I'm playing The Great Circle at the moment. I'm not that far into it. It's very different to what we were expecting, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very different. It's the best way to describe it for me is like it's very much a Bethesda game. And
Okay.
it's very much
So loading screens.
no, the opposite. No, there's been pretty much no load screens actually. But
Oh, very good.
no, I mean like in how it plays, and it feels like a VR game without the headset.
Oh, that's weird.
The amount of stuff you interact with and pick up and use as weapons and things, like it feels very super interactive, and Troy is brilliant in it.
Well,
I
they
mean,
did.
No surprise there, but he is excellent.
I think they
as
did
in-
another trailer for it at the
Yeah,
Game Awards, and you got to hear Troy Baker then speak, and you're just like, that actually just sounds like Harrison Ford. Like sometimes you hear a bit of the Troy Baker,
You do,
but
yeah,
most of the time it's like, "No, that just sounds like Harrison Ford."
No,
He
a lot
did
of he's very good. He's
Yeah.
very good. If this game had come out earlier, he would definitely be up for best performance. Like,
I thought it was very funny when he was talking about his friends. Actually, like the first one he mentioned was Noel North. I was like, emphasis on that name there.
which is good. That's good. I like that.
yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was a really cool moment. And then in terms of the awards themselves, yeah, some of them get brushed past, which isn't nice. But some of them obviously do get a big spotlight. A new one this year, which I thought was really, really cool and actually quite emotional, and another good way of the show kind of addressing an issue in the industry that they themselves can't actually fix because it's an award show, is the Game Changer Award that they created this year to basically acknowledge the work of this dude Amir. I can't remember his surname.
Oh yeah.
Who had just for no money at all spent time trying to build a platform in which he can help game developers who lose their jobs get new jobs, and has actually helped out. And I just thought it was really cool that they acknowledged that with an award.
Yes.
And it wasn't a category that any of us knew about. There wasn't nominees for it or anything. It was just, we want to acknowledge your hard work, and you're the one who's looking for a solution to this problem that the industry is having. And he was obviously very clearly emotional
Yes.
on the stage. I thought that was a really beautiful moment.
That was a nice moment. That deserved its due, like, you know what I mean? And yeah, I mean that was mentioned a few times, twice, three times maybe throughout the show about the problems that the industry is going through. So it's nice that there is someone, because I never heard of him. I actually never heard of any of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So nice that was acknowledged. So for anyone like ourselves who never heard of it, we could we could know about it, and that there is help out there, because it's just one of those things that I think for a lot of people, depending on whatever the problem is that they're facing, there's not really a lot of, or at least there used to not be a lot of like advertisement of help.
Yeah.
So it's nice that our society is going, no, like there is. Like
Yeah,
there
it's
is
like
help and
the help has always been there, but it's like it's hidden almost,
yeah.
and people don't know where to find it.
Hmm.
So they don't actually have a clue where to go looking. So yeah, it is good to acknowledge. It's like actually,
So
if you find yourself in this scenario, this is where you can go.
yeah, so the fact that they put this wasn't just like the AMD advertisements. You know what I mean? That were just kind of
Yeah,
there, like on the screen or something. Like this was given its spotlight, I
yeah,
suppose.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was
So I thought
nice.
that was really cool, and also like Jeff was very emotional at many points throughout the
He
show. Did you
was.
notice that? Like he was
Yes.
really like welling up at times, and he took a particular like the first time I noticed it was he was really taken back by the arcane music,
Yes.
which first of all, oh,
It's beautiful.
21 Pilots killed it.
Hmm.
Their performance was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Um, yeah, and the other two were great too. Like, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I thought the 21 Pilots with the
I
orchestra in
I thought
particular
the
was
the
powerful.
going from one to the other was so well done.
Yeah, if I'm honest, I probably would have swapped places in terms of with the structuring of the show. I probably would have swapped that musical performance with Snoop Dogg's. I think I
So
would have
but
had
Snoop,
Snoop Dogg's earlier because it's only a bit of crack. You know,
right?
da 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 da. It's only a bit of crack,
Yeah.
and but that one is so powerful that I would put it a little bit closer, like
To
where
the
Snoop
end,
Dogg's
yeah.
bit was, because it bring it back to like the power of gaming and the power of music and all this,
Hmm.
um, and then of course the actual Game Awards orchestra doing the medley is always great. They did
Hmm.
a phenomenal job, and we got to see Flute Guy again.
I was there because there was a time there I was going, where's Flute Guy? I don't see him. Then there he was, fucking Flute Guy.
And he kept changing instruments again.
Yeah, he did. It was great. I think there
Yeah,
was one
yeah.
point he was playing two at the same time.
Was there anything from the awards? We'll get to Game of the Year next, but was there anything else from like the awards aspect of the show that you wanted to shout out or mention?
um, the award. So just the awards show, not necessarily the actual
Yeah.
awards. Well, I suppose I
Well,
could.
and the awards, yeah.
Well, okay. So first thing, I was shocked, absolutely shocked, absolutely. Like I'm in the room by myself, but I'm still like so shocked that I'm looking around for someone else's reaction, even though there's no one around. And I'm like, Fallout won best adaptation. I
I
was.
I think it's brilliant.
Oh, no. Like,
I
and I'm not shocked in an angry way. I was just like, I was so sure it was Arcade. I was like, huh? That was like that was a surprise. I was like,
I think if I'm being honest, because remember I also predicted Arcane because I think Arcane is the better show, right? But
right.
I also felt Arcane shouldn't have been a nominee this year.
True. You were saying that our episode talking about the
And with
nominations.
that in mind, because I feel it shouldn't have been a nominee, because the show wasn't actually finished when the nominees went up and everything,
Yeah.
um, Fallout deserves to win this year.
Right. Yeah.
You know, Arcane maybe, and now by putting it in this year, they've taken it out of next year. Really, like they should have left
Yeah.
it. But anyway, yeah, Fallout deserved it, and I'm happy it won.
I thought that was actually funny as well when they went up to get the award, and I think it was the director or the creator of the show was like, I was so ready to rip into Ellen Purnell about Arcade, and now I got nothing.
Do you know who that was?
No,
That's Christopher Nolan's brother.
is it?
That's Jonathan Nolan. Yeah,
Good man, John.
yeah. He was like one of the main writers and showrunners on Fallout, obviously.
And I think he did Westworld as well.
He
Actually,
was involved with Westworld as well, which you can
yeah.
kind of see a little bit of like influence and crossover. But yeah, a great show. Fallout was brilliant. And as an actual adaptation,
It's a very good
like
adaptation.
if to just look at that criteria again, I do think Arcane is a better show. But to look at just that criteria in terms of like if you watched the show and then decided to play the game because you liked the show and wanted to be immersed in the experience of it, Fallout is the best adaptation that was in that nominees list. So it deserves the award, really.
It is yeah. No, like again, I was shocked because I was so sure Arcane was going to win it.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not
It was like
shocked that
like a pleasant shock.
Yeah. I wasn't
In a way,
shocked in
yeah.
like that's absolute bullshit. Not like
No.
you know like no. It's just like I was just so sure. I was just so sure Arcane was going to get it. I was like, of course. And it Fallout, I was like, hold on a minute. These guys are throwing in a curveball in this award show.
I was shocked and thankful that Shadow of the Erd Tree did not win anything.
Yes, I was.
And
I
no
did.
disrespect to Shadow of the Erd Tree, but
Sure.
again, I felt it should not have been nominated in certain categories, in particular Game of the Year.
Well, I did find that was again. Yeah, it's supposed to reinforce that the Muppets were the audience voice because they
Yeah,
did
like they
mention.
did the whole a DLC for Game of the Year. What the hell?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So they did acknowledge that, I suppose.
yeah. Um, yeah. Anything else from the awards side, or will we jump straight into giving congratulations to Game of the Year?
Um, do you not want to talk about any announcements?
Well, that's after that. Yeah, we'll do that
Oh,
after.
fair enough, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So we must give credit where credit is due. Congratulations to Team Asobi.
Hmm.
Astrobot is Game of the Year for the 2024 Game Awards. It really was. It got to a moment where it was really like this. I don't know. This could be anything. I
Yeah.
I don't know where this is gonna go. But and they also won Best Game Direction. And they
I
won
was a bit
Best
shocked.
Family Game.
I was a bit shocked by the best direction as well.
Yeah. So congratulations to them. They did an
Yeah,
amazing job. And I thought what was really interesting was in his Game of the Year speech, he didn't name them, but everyone knew who he was talking about. He did a big thank you to Nintendo. And I thought that was really interesting. And I was like, I wonder how PlayStation will feel about that. Like, I'm sure they'll be fine about it, but also they might be like, you're working for us, and
Yeah.
it was our game, and you spent your final thought or the final thing you left people with was basically thank you Nintendo for like inspiring, because obviously like all you have to do is play Astrobot to know it's obviously very clearly Mario inspired
Yeah.
in like gameplay and game design and all that stuff. And he was obviously paying homage to like his childhood games, and the games that made him want to make games was Mario. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. But it's also really nice for someone to just acknowledge like Xbox and PlayStation, as well as the third party studios, all have a big presence at the Game Awards, and Nintendo do not. And
True,
it is
yeah.
nice to acknowledge it's like a lot of games wouldn't be here if
It
not
wasn't
for
for-
Nintendo.
Hmm.
So it was kind of cool. What did you think? Like,
I actually I didn't notice that, but I think when they kind of won, I just kind of started to be like, all right, okay, they won, and I kind of didn't really listen. So I didn't actually notice that. Well, I had to get stuff ready because we're recording just coming off watching it because we couldn't watch.
That's
this
right. We have
for-
there's a hectic weekend schedule trying to slot this in, edit this, and get it up. And as a result, yeah, we have literally just watched the Game Awards at
Yeah.
time of recording. Come straight on, yeah. So
Yeah. So like at that point, I was like, right, I need to like tidy myself up. You know what I mean? Because like it's as we stated, it's a long show, so we were up quite early to watch it.
yeah, especially with like our time zones. So like if we
Yeah.
were to watch it when it was actually on, like it started at like 12:30 at night for us, and would have wrapped up at nearly like 4 o'clock in the morning. For
Yeah, between
us.
4 and
So-
5 in the morning, like so.
So we decided to sleep instead, get up and watch
Well,
it early rather than.
We say that, but actually, I could have just stayed up and watched it because I couldn't fucking sleep last night.
Shit.
I got about 2.5 hours.
Oh God, that's awful.
And I have to see Lord of the Rings later on.
No, well, that's a good thing. But like you're, yeah.
No, but I'm afraid I'm going to fall asleep during the movie. I don't
I can
want
understand then with like a lack of sleep watching the show, you must be like, oh my God, get on with it.
Yes, yeah, I was.
Well,
Like
also-
every so often, I'd be
Whereas-
like checking the time scale, and it's like, oh my god,
Whereas
I'm
I
at 3
was,
hours
like-
out of 8 hours.
I was like very aware. I was like, this is a long ass show. I am gonna make sure to try get as much sleep as I can. Get up early.
I tried to
Get
sleep.
a fizzy drink.
Anyway, that doesn't matter. But yes, Astrobot won. So that is definitely when it comes to the who won the contest. That is 1 point to Kris. Astrobot winning Game of the Year.
Well, will we answer that? The most important question, actually. Never mind who won Game of the Year. It's who out of the two of us. Like that's more important. Who out of the two of us got the most predictions right, and who is going to be buying the pizza this year? So last year, Eric won by 1 fucking point, and
It was a technicality as well.
I bought the pizza.
There's
This
no
year,
technicality this year because
there is
I was
our predictions of what will be shown were all wrong.
yes, because our predictions. My prediction was Linkin Park will perform live, right?
Yeah,
I forgot about the word live, and I thought to myself, I wonder because
you were
they
like,
did.
does that count? Does that count?
No, no,
The
no.
heaviest
I
the
was
crown
no,
instrumental.
I wasn't going to count it, but I was thinking,
Right.
was Kris going to count it?
Yeah.
So I was actually
No.
going to hammer the point home that no, it was live. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
That was just
And you know what? I actually
that was annoying.
realized
That
they
was
were
annoying.
clearly asked because they'd have to be asked could they use their music anyway,
Yeah.
right? And only four, and I only copped this like literally before we came on. Linkin Park were performing at the Billboard Music Awards, which was on the same day. So they were probably like, we clash, but you can use our music.
Goddamn Billboard music! I would have had one. Ah!
So that was that one. And then in a similar way, I had predicted Hideo Kojima would be there as the definite. However, as a caveat to that though, I did say to reveal the release date of Death Stranding 2. That did not happen, and therefore I'm not taking that as a point.
Right. So they tickled both of our balls for this show, right? Because they were playing Heavy's The Crown, which
They
I was
were.
like, you're so close.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
obviously, as you stated, they were at the Billboard thingy, so they couldn't do anything about it. But I was like, it's still just like tickling at it. And with
Right.
I was so sure when he was like, Hideo Kojima, Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I was like, right, well, this is it. Like, we're going to get our announcement.
Yeah.
And it
It's
just
actually
never
I was
happened.
quite surprised at that one.
Yeah, it just
Um,
never happened. And I was like, oh, so Chris
Something
didn't get
that's
that one.
interesting is, it has been pointed out, and it makes a lot of sense. A lot of, and you'll see, like some of them had release dates, but a lot of the games shown that have like a release window next year were saying 2025, summer 2025, winter 2025, but no date.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Because they don't want to give dates in case they have to push it back and then get death threats on people?
No, that happens all the time. Anyway, that's fine. They're worried about. They want to wait till Grand Theft Auto announces their release date. They're all waiting. And as I was watching it, every single one of them, even Crimson Desert, which is like a really big game.
Yeah. I was so happy to
2025.
see.
They were
yeah,
all saying
late-
like
Late
2025.
2025 is what they said.
They're
So I
all
was like,
waiting
right,
for
this
Grand
is-
Theft Auto to move first. But
God,
that was
he's so
another
fun.
one of the predictions that we'd see a trailer for GTA 6. And I actually really did think, especially at the start of the show with what they started with, I was like, okay, if this is not what you're ending with, then you have to have something bigger than this. You know, you have to have something bigger than The Witcher 4. to
Right,
end
yeah,
on.
yeah.
And you have to have something bigger than the next Elden Ring thing. You know what I mean?
I wasn't
So that's
mad
why.
on that, but yeah.
Huh?
I wasn't really mad on that Elden Ring thing.
No, I mean, I'm not either, but I'm talking about.
No,
like,
but I mean, like, even though I'm not like, I wouldn't be like jumping at the next From Software game, but I still thought the Shadow of the Earth 3 DLC looked good.
All right, okay.
I just thought this DLC, I was looking at it going, this looks wrong. This kind of looks like it's a Fortnite Battle Royale game, but with Elden Ring skin.
It kind of is. It's a multiplayer, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like you said?
yeah, it is multiple. They did say at the end, I was like, oh, that's what it is. That's
Yeah,
why it
yeah.
looks and feels weird. But
So I was trying to like figure out. I was going, "What the hell?" And then I was like, "It has to be. They have to have GTA 6 at the end of this." And
Right.
even when Jeff was like, "We have one more thing," but then the more he talked, I was like, "Oh no, that's not GTA 6." And then anyway, we'll talk about that part later on. But so no GTA 6 trailer, so we didn't get that prediction right.
No.
No Wonder Woman trailer, so I didn't get that prediction right. Warner Brothers, what are you doing? And then our wild cards. No Final Fantasy 9 remake. That didn't happen. And but plenty of other surprises. And no Mass Effect.
no,
So we got none of
all of
those.
our predictions were gone. No,
Got none of those. But in terms of the actual categories then,
right.
do you want to know the score or do you just want to know who won?
The score and then who won. You know, everyone wants to see the score. Everyone likes numbers.
Sure. Okay, Eric, you predicted correctly 10 of the category wins.
I mean, I was going through them, but I suppose I just didn't count them. Wow, 10. Okay, cool.
I predicted correctly 15 of the categories this year.
Wow.
You are buying the pizza!
You destroyed me.
I think it's only because I gave Astrobot more wins than you did. That might have edged
probably.
me out. Actually, I don't think you gave Astrobot any.
No.
When I went back
Fuck
through
that
it, and I
game.
was like, I'm really surprised that he didn't give Astrobot any of them.
Yeah, but then yeah. Then there was I was a bit silly with some other games, wasn't I?
And well, as well, then your soft spot for Stellar Blade kept making you pick that in the categories it was in.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was very clearly not going to win.
yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so there you have it. For this year, Eric will be buying me the pizza. Muhaha.
Well,
I
in fairness,
look
since
forward.
we made the bet, Domino's Pizza has been sending me text messages about pizza deals. So
Yeah, yeah.
they must have just predicted and known. Yeah, you're going to lose, Eric.
I was telling them I was messaging them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, keep messaging Eric there. Taunt him, taunt him. Taunt him. With it. So yeah, so that's cool. I feel good about that. But also, there was a lot of them where I was like, oh shit, oh fuck, I got that wrong or whatever. I had the other day, or a couple of days before the Game Awards, Tekken put out their thing to say that they would be revealing their final DLC player for Tekken 8. And I messaged you and Adam with the picture, and I mean, no one else knows this, so maybe I'm lying through my ass, but I mean, you saw it, so and I said I bet it's got to be Tifa.
Yes, yeah, he did. I can confirm he
Felt
did say it was
I
Tifa.
felt so confident, right?
Yeah.
And where that was coming from was, so with with Tekken 7, Noctis
Hmm.
was a guest character.
Yeah.
So this time around, I was like, okay, so there's like a good relationship with Tekken and Final Fantasy. And that went down really well last time, and it brought some of the Final Fantasy community over to Tekken.
Right.
They've got one character left. The other three were all Tekken characters. I was like, they always have a guest character. There's got to be a guest character. And I was just thinking, well, Rebirth is hot as shit right now. And Tifa would fit perfect in a Tekken game.
Yes.
Like, she literally looks like a Tekken character. She would fight like a Tekken character, all that. So I was actually surprised. I was like, okay, I was on the right track with a Final Fantasy character, but wrong. That if I had made that as an actual prediction, that would be wrong too. Clive Rossfield from Final Fantasy 16 is the new player for Tekken 8. What did you think of that?
I was also surprised. I was surprised at that because again, you were saying Tifa, and I was like, okay, so it's gonna be Tifa. Because when they first announced it, I was like, ooh, is this like a new thing to Fantasy 16? I thought they were kind of done with that.
Yeah, I thought so
And
too.
then
And then
then they turned to Tekken, and I was like, ah, interesting choice. Bit of an unfair match. Everyone else is supposed to go into Tekken with fists. Clive goes in with not only sword, but fucking magic. That's an
yeah.
unfair fight.
I don't know if Tekken is ever a fair tournament, to be honest with you.
No, they have an alien with a sword and robots that fire rockets from their arms. It's definitely not. And a velociraptor.
Yeah, I don't know if any of these are the King of Iron Fist, to be honest.
No.
It's just kicking the shit out of each other with weapons and stuff, but it looks cool. He will, like, while I thought it was going to be Tifa, he fits, like, as well. He's not a bad choice. But as much as people liked it, I would say I think people would have been more excited to see Tifa.
I think she would have had a really cool, flashy sort of fight style.
Plus, you'd have the battle music from FF7 then in Tekken.
Yeah.
And that'd be a cool clash of... It'd also be a cool, like, homage of, like... You know, this is the 30th anniversary. Obviously, Tekken 8 is on everything now, right? But you have to look at its origins was PlayStation. It'd be cool, like, two PS1 kind of... Well, obviously, arcades, actually, would be the origins. Right. But it'd be cool having these two PS1...
right, yeah.
franchises finally coming together 30 years later, you know what I mean? Like a Final Fantasy 7 character in Tekken. Like, I just think...
But then,
I think it would be cool.
They might have also thought to themselves that Clive is the next one in the list. It's 15, then 16. So maybe they didn't want to go back. And then also on top of that, they might have just went, Tifa, well, we have Ling Xiaoyu, and we have Nina, and we have Anna, and we have Julia, and we have... So they might have been thinking, like, we already have strong female characters who are kicking ass with their fists and their feats. So they thought, what we don't have is a guy with a sword who summons a phoenix wing and burns people to death. That's what
I hear you.
That might be what they were thinking, like.
Can I say, strangely enough, I think Clive would have been a more fitting guest character to a Soul Calibur.
Absolutely.
And Tifa is perfect for Tekken.
Yes.
And they have missed a boat a little bit, but also Ben Starr is cool. And it's awesome that Tekken has Clive Ross.
What
So-
Final Fantasy character would you put in a Mortal Kombat game?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me think. You have to has to be someone that it's like, okay, so now you're allowed to go all out and go all violent with the character, right? So,
Yeah.
who's the most violent, despicable character in Final Fantasy? Or would you just go, well, just take a character that has been held back a little bit and now they can finally let loose? Like, would you just do, Gilgamesh or something like that? Like, or would you do? I don't know. Who do you think would be a good fit?
I wouldn't do any of the summons for sure.
I mean, Sephiroth's the obvious one, right? Because he's like the big bad, and he does all the impalements with his sword and shit.
Yeah.
And he could definitely do some sick fatalities.
But I think Vincent would be a good one too.
Vincent could work too. Yeah,
The
Vincent
guns,
could work.
his very vampire-esque personality, and then also he turns into monsters.
Yeah,
which
so
I
you
think
could
should be
his animality.
Yeah, he has that melody there. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably other ones that we're missing. But that'd be an interesting.
I want people to let us know who should
Yeah.
be what Final Fantasy character should guest in
a Mortal Kombat.
a Mortal Kombat game, and then in a Virtua Fighter game. Get one in each of the fighting games. That's all.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's in Dead or Alive? Riku.
Nah.
Just for the volleyball. You remember Dead or Alive? There was like a
Yes.
weird like beach volleyball mode, and I was like, "What
I'm
the fuck
pretty
has this
sure
got to
they
do with a
would get.
fighting game?"
I'm pretty sure they would get Tifa for that boat.
Yeah, they'll get all of Yuffie as well. Come on.
Yeah, let's get all the people characters. But anyway, actually, Tekken 8 was the one that won best fighting game.
yeah. Which,
Yeah, so I think
there was no competition there. Like,
we were about 3 awards in, and that was the only one I had right.
right?
So I
okay.
was getting like,
you were like, oh,
yeah, I was like, I'm not getting this. My hopes only raised up when it got to like best independent, best debut indie, and best mobile. That was the only point where I was like, we're getting somewhere.
you're like 3 in the bag, Balatro.
Yeah.
Balatro, all of my money, it's all resting on Balatro. Well done, Balatro. So yeah, I suppose getting to the announcement side of things then. First of all, I have to ask you about The Witcher 4, where Ciri is clearly going to be the protagonist
Ciri's
this
gonna be the
time
main
around.
character.
How are you feeling about it?
I had it spoiled.
Yeah, so did I. See,
Right.
this is I fucking hate watching shows afterwards.
But for me, it's because I couldn't go to sleep. And I was like, right, well, I'm just going to go on my phone and maybe I'm going to watch fucking some
Oh, that's
YouTube
dangerous.
clip.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, I was the very
While
first
it's
thing.
on, of course. Yeah, of course it was.
Oh, yeah, but it was so fucking quick. It's on and they're already posting it. I was like,
Yeah, of course. That's what they do.
that's ridiculous.
Let's go.
But anyway, so I was happy to see Witcher 4. Cool to see Ciri. Obviously, I didn't watch it. So still going into it, it was very like I was actually still like, what's this? Because when he was talking about it, he was saying the game unexpected or something like that is what he called it.
Right, okay.
Jeff Keighley. So he didn't say the name, he didn't say anything. So when I was
He didn't,
watching
yeah.
it, I was like, what's this? This looks interesting. It was only when your woman walked out and she had the yoke, and then it was a clip of the woman's getting dressed and ready for some ceremony, and then it cuts to someone sharpening their blade, and I went, "That's fucking Ciri's sword. That's Ciri. This is The Witcher." All right. So very cool to see Ciri in the full Witcher getup because she never used the 2 swords. She only ever used the 1 sword, and then to see her fight this really cool designed monster. So I've never seen that monster before. That looks awesome. And she used the Witcher signs, so she used the shield ability
Yeah.
that she would have learned from Geralt and all the other Witchers. She uses the potion that she would have also learned to concoct as a Witcher. But then when she was pinned, she pulled on the water to make magic, which she would have learned from Yennefer. So I was like, oh, this is going to open up some really cool gameplay mechanics because now you're playing as Ciri, which is a whole new character, which is kind of cool. You can define her now as what would she be like as a Witcher. You have the combat she would have learned from Geralt, the Witcher signs and concoctions and oils and stuff she would have learned as a Witcher. But now you have the spells that she would have learned from Yennefer and Triss. But then she has I wonder if she still has her own unique power of the Elder Blood that maybe she could use. Maybe. I don't know.
That sounds so badass. I know that The Witcher 3 is like your favorite game,
Yeah.
like ever. So I was like,
I'll officially state it. Yes, it's my favorite game.
Yay! He finally fucking said it. So I was like, well, I really curious what Eric thinks about this direction for The Witcher 4, and like, you know, are you excited about Ciri being older and taking on the mantle as the protagonist, or would you have been like, oh, I kind of wanted another Geralt adventure, or
Honestly, the way I actually thought, no, they did probably tell you because of the symbol that they used, which was always a medallion covered in snow, was not like Geralt's wolf symbol, but it was different. So it wasn't exactly Ciri's cat symbol either that she wore. But I actually thought that the most appropriate path to go with The Witcher was actually go back to a time when there was more Witchers.
all right, okay,
So that's like Geralt and Ciri and their story is over. So no matter what ending you got in The Witcher 3, because there's like three different endings. Well, three different outcomes for Ciri.
okay,
I thought then at least that finals it, and they're not going to tell you which one is canonically correct. That each one could be, and I thought they were going to go back into the past, which would have made more sense. But no, they're saying that the canonically correct one, then I suppose, is that Ciri became a Witcher. She survived at the end and became a Witcher. I'm pretty cool with that. I'm pretty happy with that. I think Ciri was very fun to use because she had her own unique abilities. So I think now being able to use the Witcher skills and Sorcerer skills, I think could make a very interesting gameplay mechanic.
do you expect? And this is coming from someone who really doesn't know The Witcher 3 at all. Do you expect Geralt to be in this game?
Yes.
Yeah, I would too. As someone who has no idea what happens and is starting to maybe piece together that maybe Geralt isn't alive, I don't know, but but in
No,
some way, shape, or form, but even regardless of the ending of Witcher 3, I'm still getting the sense that he might not be alive right now.
True, he might have died.
But given the supernatural, I'm still like fully, or flashbacks or whatever. I'm still fully expecting, because obviously, if for the mantle to have been passed on, like if he's around doing his thing, the question in the gamer's mind, no matter how cool Ciri would be, is why aren't I playing as him? Because he's the Witcher, he's Geralt, he's the guy, you know. So you have to allow for Ciri to really become the Witcher and to become cold and brash and all this kind of stuff. You kind of have to remove him for
True.
her to really step into the spotlight.
The only way I see, right, you could either have he is dead, which is very possible as Witchers die pretty much every day, or he's like Vesemir. You played the start of the Witcher
Yeah,
3.
yeah, I remember
You remember
Vesemir.
the older guy that you were
that
traveling
he could
with?
be just a mentor figure.
Yeah, so it's like he can go out on hunts, but he's more likely to stay back at Kaer Morhen and look after the fortress and look after the new recruits.
All right, okay.
So maybe like a new school is being set up or something like that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what the very interesting. But I like
Yeah,
that it
it'll be
still
fun to
has
see.
that dark, gritty sense to it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I'm looking
nice. So
forward to
they're not-
seeing more from it actually, especially when they start showing gameplay and stuff. Obviously, this was just a reveal trailer more than anything else. However, I will say this, right? So when I went on to look up Game Awards, I was trying my best not to look anywhere. I was like, because I was
Right.
like, I know for a fact there's gonna be thumbnails everywhere of shit, and I don't want to know anything. That was the only one that was spoiled on me.
Right.
I could see that straight away. And, oh, for fuck's sake! Like this. I was like, okay, well, that's probably the last big game, you know.
Right.
So when they played it so early, I will say that I was like, okay, oh shit, like I don't know
Yeah,
what's going to happen
you're dead
now.
where it's like, I don't know what's going to come up next.
Now I'm, and my mind was like, you know, going through so many different possibilities of what could come up. And I will say, while nothing in particular that I was looking forward to coming up came up, I was surprised a lot by lots of
Right.
things.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, you know what I mean? And there's a few games that really like caught my eye. I thought like the new one that hasn't got a name yet, but from the developer of Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and
Right.
Last Guardian, looked really cool, and you could already tell that it's going to be an incredibly powerful game.
That countdown was very. I was even actually going like, hurry
On
up,
edge,
hurry
right?
up, hurry up. Yeah. I was like, please hurry up, please hurry up, please hurry up. Like, because of that countdown. It was very good.
There was the Okami sequel,
Yeah. It's a very
Which
old
was-
game. It's PS2, isn't it?
right? Incredibly surprising, and
Yeah.
like it's an iconic game, and even just like as the guy was, because at that point Jeff said we've got one more game, but then he was lying, and they actually had another game.
Yeah.
But he said one more game, and I was like, oh, here we go, GTA. And
Yeah.
then the guy started playing the drums, and I was like, okay, well, there's no way it's GTA then.
Right, yeah.
And then I was looking at the colors and I was going, what the fuck is this? And then I could kind of see the colors coming together. I was like, is that Okami? And then it came up Okami Seeker. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy.
So I wasn't really. I just kind of keep open mind with it, with everything that's happening.
Yeah.
So the drums were starting. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Then the Japanese music started, and I went, oh, we getting Ghost of Yotai? Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Bit soon though, right? Like it would be,
Yeah,
it'd be
yeah,
a bit
yeah.
soon, right? Yeah.
It'd be a bit soon, but I was like, I don't mind. It's cool. Give me more Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah.
And then there was the wolf running. And I'm like, okay, this is obviously symbolic of the character. Like I was still go until it started becoming all orangey, and I was like, nah, this is not Ghost of Yotai. What the fuck is this?
Right.
So I didn't know until it said Okami sequel.
Yeah. I never actually played the original, but I remember just
No.
seeing it everywhere. Like I remember in game magazines, game videos, on shelves. Like Okami is a game that comes up again and again and again. It was in our, you could pick it from our, the
The
best
top 10?
PlayStation games of all time list. It was in there because it is iconic and you couldn't not include it, I don't think. So yeah, kind of. But the way Jeff announced it was, it's like, if it sort of felt like he's like, while this isn't going to be the game that like gets everyone, he was very emotional about that one, which makes me think the original Kami means a lot to him, or is like one of his favorite games.
Could do.
So
Very possible.
that was kind of cool. I was surprised by Mafia: The Old Country.
That actually looks so fucking good. I was slightly tempted to pause it and bring Dad in to watch.
I was shocked because I haven't played any of the Mafia games. They never appealed to me. They always seemed like a bit of a spin-off GTA type thing that I wouldn't be that interested in. And this one felt kind of like it could be the next Red Dead 2 in terms of quality.
I played a bit of Mafia 3 because it was free on PlayStation Plus, and like I didn't really get into it. I was like, this is fine, to be honest, but I just think there's certain elements of it that were just like weird. It was like I don't know, it just didn't feel right or fluid in playing or anything like that. But yeah, I was captivated by this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was tempted to pause it and bring it into that. I'm like, Dad, here's the game for you, man.
As a series that I have no interest in, that game has caught my eye.
Yes.
And because a lot of it was in-game. And it looked absolutely gorgeous and looked like it played well, and the drama of it, and I was like, you're on my list now. Not I don't mean like, oh, day one I'm getting you now, but I'm like, normally I would have been like, and maybe shut off for that kind of thing. Now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep an eye on you,
Yeah.
So
Sure.
yeah, that one really caught me. I think they're changing up the formula for that series in a way that this, like, I don't mean to the same quality, but this could do for the series what, say, God of War 2018 did for God of War.
Right.
It's like,
or
yes,
Resi
they're all
7 for Resident Evil.
like where it's like, oh, the games before are really fun. Don't get me wrong, and they're iconic or whatever. But then a certain shift in tone and a shift in maturity just really like, oh fuck, now you're like on a different level.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of looked like to me.
No, I love the old, the kind of driving the old cars, but then you have the horses and going through, like, now you're going through Sicily and everything like that. And
It's cool.
I love the moment, actually. I think he was in his apartment. I don't know who was opening the door, but he had the revolver and he was going up against the wall and pointing towards the door and everything. I just looked like one of those really tense drama moments you would have in those crime movies where like someone's been inflicted with paranoia. So no, that looked wow.
Yeah, honestly, later on just showed Dad the trailer. I know he's not a gamer or anything, but like, it just looks like if it was a movie, he would definitely go see it. That's for sure. Another one that caught my eye, and I do like the way he presented it, but Split Fiction.
Man, he is the greatest hype guy ever. Bring him to hype everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hyped for him.
I like that everyone else is censored and he doesn't give a fuck.
No, everyone else is in all fancy stuff. I remember because when he won Game of the Year for It Takes Two,
It Takes Two, that's right.
He was in a t-shirt and jeans and everyone else is all these fancy suits and everything, and he's just like, I don't give a shit. And then he comes up with a Hawaiian shirt and just starts cursing left, right, and center.
He's got a nice like he's excited about it all, and then he's also got like a nice rebellious energy to him, and like I liked like when he said I know I sound cocky, but believe me, you would be too if you had the game I'm about to show, right? Which
Right.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh, the codes I do. And when it first started showing, I was like, I don't know. And then the more it went into it, and I saw what it actually was, and the
Yeah.
fact that you're going to be playing a sci-fi game and a fantasy game and rolling between the two, and knowing that like, so like I've played It Takes Two, I haven't finished it,
Yeah.
but it is incredibly, and the more you get into it, the more you realize why it won Game of the Year in
Mm.
2022. Because like when we watched the 2022 Game Awards, I hadn't got that far into it yet, and I was like, I mean, it's good. I don't think it's Game of the Year good. The further you get into it, you go, oh, okay, like because it's a fucking ton of different games, basically, like a load of mini games that are like every single level plays completely differently, almost like
Yeah.
Astrobot,
Right.
right? But then it's also got this kind of story. Now the kind of tone of It Takes Two, I didn't like that much, but the gameplay is phenomenal. So now you
Right.
take a similar kind of gameplay thing where it's like every level is going to play different and there's going to be different genres and stuff.
Mm.
But the premise I thought was slightly more interesting with this whole, they put you in a simulation where your stories come to life, and like there's so much they could do so much with that. Like,
Yeah.
so I that's a game I'm going, and it's coming out really soon. That one was coming out March
Yeah. That
2025.
one actually had a date. That one was not afraid.
And only one person has to buy it, and a friend can join in and play it.
Yes. That was
I
great.
think that is
This
absolutely brilliant.
he was really great. He was a really great presenter, very excited, very enthused, very down to earth as well. You
Yeah,
know,
I feel like
I
what
suppose,
you see is what you get. Like,
yeah. No, that was a very interesting game. Split Fiction.
yeah, a nice
That's
new
right.
IP as well. Well, I feel like as well with him and their studio, they're probably never going to do sequels. Like they'll do
Probably not. No.
something like this where it's a spiritual sequel in that it's like, oh, if you liked It Takes Two gameplay, you'll probably like this gameplay.
Hmm.
But rather than bring the same characters back and do a whole new scenario with them, it's like, no, let's do a whole new idea. And I think that's probably going to be their trajectory. Like I imagine Split Fiction is not going to be like a franchise. We won't get a Split Fiction 2. We'll get
Which
something
I think
completely
is
different the next
okay
time.
because
Oh, I think it's great.
Yeah, because sometimes you just have a game and you go that's okay. Like you don't need it to continue. Sometimes it's just like if there was a Journey 2, I don't know if it'd be as impactful or good as Journey. You know.
No, I don't think so.
So
Which
the
is
fact
why,
that
again, that's another studio that do spiritual successors, where it's
yeah,
like we're doing at a similar experience and a similar art style, maybe, and a similar like message, maybe in it.
mm,
But no, not a Journey 2. No need
yeah,
for that.
yeah.
Um,
No, I've he hyped me up for that game.
yeah. He did a
Like
good job.
he did a very good job. I liked him. He was very good.
Were there any other games that caught your eye? Like, so we're not going to talk about every game
Yeah.
because everyone's going to have different ones, and we want to hear from people as to what games were their highlights of the 2024 Game Awards. But yeah, were there any games that caught your eye in particular, other than some of the ones we just mentioned?
There was one thing where I think I figured it out. You know, I don't know if we ever said on podcast, but like if there's ever a game trailer to something and then they show that it's first person or it's an MMO, I'm usually immediately turned off.
Right.
Right. I usually just kind of like I'm not really interested anymore. MMOs is because I know that at some point they're going to release really silly costumes and these dances, and it's just like even though you presented this big epic awesome world, when you play it, it's like a whole different thing. Like it doesn't represent. With first person games, I think I finally figured out what it is about their trailers that turned me off. So there was a game called Portals that was announced at the Game
Portals?
Awards. Portals, yeah.
I feel like how did I miss that one? I don't recognize that one.
It's a first person shooter game. You team v team, right? And team
Yeah.
deathmatch, and you're jumping to portals. I figured out what I hate about first person shooter games.
What is it?
You got the third person camera of the people running in a really silly run.
Yeah.
Then you got the constant reloading of guns.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just shooting. And then all the first person trailer games are just that. And it's like, yeah, I'll just play Call of Duty, like, because you're not doing anything new.
How did I miss that one? Because I feel like that would have stood out to me. Not the game, but I feel like I would have been like, you can't call yourself Portals.
Pretty sure that's what it's called.
Portal is like one of the most famous games ever.
Yeah.
You can't call yourself Portals. You just can't.
Although it could be set in the same universe.
Ah, come on, really?
Could be. The portals look very similar.
Oh shit! How the fuck did I miss this? I need to like look back at that. That is ringing no bells at me. Um,
Uh,
One of the other
but
shooters that I'm not into shooters and stuff, but I thought it was very interesting in terms of game design. I think it was called Frag Punk, where you have
oh,
these cards.
with the cards, yeah.
and they mod the game as you play it. So like it's like
Right,
okay,
so that,
now like that, I thought that was really interesting.
that was
Twist
interesting.
on.
That actually, yeah, that definitely showed like something else rather than just people running, reloading their guns that they haven't fired, and then shooting, which is what a lot of first-person games is. At least Fragpunk had something else to show, which was yes, the cards that mod the environment in the game and everything. Not that I get it, but like at least that was
No,
something
yeah,
else to
again,
show.
it wouldn't be something I'd play, but I thought it was an interesting twist on that genre. And I'd say it probably is fun to play with friends. Like,
Yeah.
I thought the Outer Worlds 2 trailer was done very funnily. Is it Outer Worlds or Outer Wilds? Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Their trailers tend to be very like. I think the very first trailer to Outer Worlds 2 was also comedic. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all important trailers start with a dramatic voice or something like that. Like
Yes, yeah.
So they self-aware, which is funny.
Yeah, I thought that was good. Anything else catch your eye?
Fuck, I'm so blinded by Witcher 3. Well, Crimson Desert, I think we did mention it, but that getting a release date for late 2025 is like finally
2025
awesome.
is going to be a stacked year.
Yeah, it's like this is the break year. You got to save some money. Now you're gonna lose all your money
here comes
again.
2025. I'm still like, as I was watching the Crimson Desert trailer, and as always, Crimson Desert has looked impressive every time. But as I was watching it, all I could think in my head is, what kind of game is this? And then the answer just being yes.
Yeah.
I still to this day, I'm like, we've seen different like gameplay, and most of it has been gameplay. Most of what they've showed is gameplay, and I'm still like, I actually have no idea what this game is. Like, I have fucking no idea. Like, in terms of like,
To be honest, you've
what's the
actually
bare bones? Like, what's the core gameplay, and then what's the side stuff? You know what I mean? I have no fucking idea.
in fairness, like we've actually seen more gameplay than we have seen story. I have no idea
yeah.
what this game is about.
I know nothing about this game,
But
except
apparently-
that you can WWE people's elbow a fucking Sasquatch or something.
Yeah, and then you can ride a dragon.
Yeah, of course
You
you
can
can.
go fish. You can go fishing.
You can do the Fortnite glider thing.
You can do the Fortnite glider thing. You
Everyone
can,
does that.
You can do the Breath of the Wild being shot up into the air. Or not, like Tears of the Kingdom being shot up in the air, so now you're on the floating cities. You fight a mechanical dragon. There was a fucking mechanical dragon in this, Chris. It just came out of nowhere. Here's a mechanical. It really is like, what is this game? Yes,
Yes,
is the
correct.
game.
Correct is right. Yeah, it'll be
I
interesting
want
to see.
a demo.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I want a demo.
Can I say I don't think you could do a demo for this game.
They did demo. You can look it up. Just do that. Just release those demos.
No, I don't know. I feel like you would need several demos because I feel like if you play it after one demo, you'd be like, okay, so is that what the game is? And they'd be like, no.
No,
but that was a demo,
it's
right?
It's like the
yes.
it's like that sketch, you know, that your man did of Tenet.
Yeah, it'd be exactly like that. I mean, I just try to understand a Christopher Nolan script, you know? It's like, I give you one page of a Christopher Nolan script. Now, would you like to watch this movie? And it's a page out of nowhere, and you just be like, I'm not sure. I think so, because everything I've seen of it looks amazing, but I'm now more confused. I feel like that's what a demo would do. I feel like if I played a demo to Crimson Desert, I'm like, what? Like, it turns out in the demo you're playing soccer. You'd be like, what the fuck is this game?
I you know what? I'd love it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
No, well, I
know what you mean.
yeah. I wanted demo because
It would need to be like a 2 to 3 hour chunk, like.
yeah, but I mean, like, you know what they like the demo that they got people to play. Like, you'd see them on YouTube where they're fighting that Sasquatch or they're fighting that big knight or something. Like, give us those segments because at least we would know what the gameplay is like and would we actually enjoy playing it.
Right. Okay.
That's very
Fair
important. Like,
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
but I do think it's hilarious. It's like that. Was it last week or something? There was a game trailer, and Nanto came out,
Okay.
and it was it kind of looks like that Zenless Zone Zero. Those Hoyoverse games. And I sent it to you and Adam with the yoke. What's the gameplay of this game? Yes. And you go into it and it was like
Oh yes, yeah, now I
there was
remember.
at
Yeah,
one point it was
yeah,
GTA and at another point it was Spider-Man and at
and
another point it was
skateboarding and
Escape.
and
Yeah, and it
and
was just
and
like
RPG fighting, and you're just like, what, like what?
and people sitting on running toilets. I was like,
Yeah.
what is this game?
I think we're getting more and more of those games that are like we want to put everything we like into a game.
Yeah,
And while that always looks amazing, sometimes it can be hard to then pin down what do you actually like about the game though. Like,
true.
does it do a lot of really good things but nothing amazing?
Hmm.
Or and I'm not saying that about Crimson Desert. It could turn out Crimson Desert turns out to be a fucking like incredible like game of the year contender next year or whatever.
Hmm.
But it could be just hard to know versus like a very focused. It's like okay, I'm getting this game because I like these kinds of games,
Right, yeah.
and that's what it is. You know what I mean? But I'm always happy to see developers pushing the boundaries too. I just do get a bit worried that if people start making these 100-hour games where they're trying to do everything, you start getting a lot of games that just all look the same as well. And
It might
you
end
know,
up becoming like that thing where there, yeah, there was a certain period of games where it was just like we have the biggest map. No, we have the biggest map. Well, we have the most amount of hours. No, we have the most amount of hours. And yeah, it could just become that where it's just like, oh yeah, well we've got, I don't know, you can podcast in this game. It's like,
yeah, it's like I saw a headline that Assassin's Creed Shadows is supposed to be like the same length of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Odyssey. Like it's more like that kind of thing.
okay,
And I was like, is that a good thing? You're saying it like it's a good thing, but is it a good thing? I don't know if that is a good thing.
well, I
I
remember,
think we need less games like that.
yeah, I remember Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You could only ever clear the game when you did everything. That was the only way to get the ending.
Right.
And Valhalla, both games actually I played and did not clear because it just got to a point with Odyssey. I was getting so sick of the gameplay.
Yeah.
Just became such a stand there and hack and slash until you slowly trimming away at their health. And Valhalla, I was just like, this is a big map. There's nothing fucking here though. I don't
Right.
want to explore this area, like you know what I mean. And yeah, so no,
Well, the last game shown,
I actually had this spoiled on me as well.
I did not. And I was trying to figure out from what he said what it was. And then I saw the facial animations on the girl. And I went, oh, this is Naughty Dog.
Oh, okay.
I recognize your graphics. I was like, this is the next Naughty Dog game, I bet you. And then as obviously it became clear that it was. What was the name of it again? Was it something like,
Intergalactic Heretic Prophecy or Prophet.
oh yeah, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, which makes it sound like it's probably going to be a new, like it's going to be a franchise,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I thought the performances looked strong in this. I
Yeah.
thought the writing sounds good. The character interactions were strong. The biggest excitement for me was that Nine Inch Nails are doing the score.
Yes, that was very cool. To hear
That just
that.
made me go, fuck yes, because like they do some amazing like film scores and stuff, and
Yeah.
also just incredible music. And to hear that they're working alongside this and doing a full video game score is just fucking awesome. Like to me, that's like if someone was to say Nobuo Uematsu is doing the score to this game. Oh fuck yeah! You already know
Yeah.
the score is gonna be amazing. So I bet you this game is gonna have a fucking sick score.
That's pretty, yeah.
And then also it's I like. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna like the game. I'm not sure
Right.
yet if I'm gonna like the gameplay. We need to see more of it, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Naughty Dog as a studio, but that doesn't just automatically mean you're gonna like everything to do. I also liked Rocksteady, and then Suicide Squad was not for me at all. But I like how different it is to like completely different it is to The Last of Us
Right, because it's
and Uncharted. You know,
because this is sci-fi. It's got a very 80s vibe. There's something I was like, because I was thinking about that, right? That the kind of 80s vibe they're going for. The very like CRT screens that she's working with, the CD player, like you know, like everything in it. The fact that
it was a bit retro, yeah,
her spaceship is a Porsche.
yeah,
So I was like thinking about it, and then I was thinking back to the start of that trailer, which has the weird alien writing, and then it translated and it says like old Simperian text, 1918, and it got me thinking. I was like, is this an alternate timeline to Earth where humanity has gone to space a lot sooner than we've done. So it's not
Oh,
our
okay,
future.
maybe,
It
yeah.
could genuinely be set in the year 2024.
Okay, it's just an alternate. It could be an alternate.
Yeah, well, or earlier, and that's why you have these CRT screens. That's why she's still using CDs.
Mm,
That's why like everything about it looks very like she wasn't using anything advanced to trim to cut her hair.
no.
She was using she was using a razor, like what I mean,
Yeah,
that you'd
yeah.
find here. So I was that it was only at the end because I was a bit like, oh, it's kind of cool to have the '80s vibe, but I was like, why are you using CD? That makes no sense. I was like, wait a minute, the Simperian 1918 in the trailer, they mentioned the Simperian zone is somewhere no one goes, which was that moon, which means it's not earthly, it's alien. So I was like, maybe, which could be really interesting. It's probably the
Yeah,
first time I've done a deep dive of a trailer.
I like it, Eric. I like it, and it's making me think about it. I'm probably gonna have to rewatch it with that lens now and see. Maybe Eric's onto something. But I'm. It's one obviously that I want to keep an eye on. I'm
Yeah.
interested to see what they do next, and it is refreshing. As someone who loves The Last of Us, it is refreshing that Naughty Dog's next game isn't The Last of Us 3. That there's
Yes.
going to be a bit of a break from that universe. The TV show is still going to be happening and stuff, like that universe is still going. And there will be a Last of Us 3, we know that down the line. But it might feel more exciting when they announce it, and it's not like well, obviously, that's the next game you're making. Like,
Right.
we'll have had a break from it, that when it finally does get revealed that's something, we'll be like, oh, fuck yeah, it's been so long. Yeah, Last of Us, let's go.
Yeah,
I
kind
think
of
it's
like
a good
when
idea that they have games between their franchises. And
kind of
so
when they
try to
when they
fight
first
end
did
it,
Last of Us. Because that was after Uncharted 2,
Uncharted
wasn't it?
3.
I was after Uncharted 3, they did Last of Us, then
Mm-hmm.
Uncharted 4, then Uncharted 2, and now we're doing Intergalactic, and then probably Last of Us 3, Intergalactic 2.
2 maybe. Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of important. And I feel like there's a bit of learning here or there will be some elements here from Jack and Daxter.
maybe.
When I saw the combat, I was like, this might play like a modern Jack and
You
Daxter.
saw the combat?
Well, when I saw the hint at the combat, like it's melee focused combat,
Oh, right, yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm just like, this might play like like if they were to make a modern Jack and Daxter game, but with a whole new IP.
That machine looked really cool.
Yeah,
That was
so
a really cool design.
I'm interested to see. I liked the old PlayStation logo. I thought that was cool,
That was so
and the
nice.
way they did the little Naughty Dog symbol then as
Yeah,
well. I thought that was all really really cool.
that was really nice.
I don't know if it's the one I would have finished on, but it was
Honestly,
also a big surprise. So I
big
get it.
surprise, but yeah, to be honest, I probably would have finished on maybe I'm just being biased here. Probably would have finished on The Witcher 4.
I don't know if that is being totally biased. And again, not being a big Witcher fan myself, I do think that The Witcher 4 is a huge deal. And I think like The Witcher 3 was a huge deal. It was Game of the year that came out, I'm sure.
2015, I think is when it came out.
Had to be, right? Had to be.
Probably, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it says on the box like
Swap them around.
over
Game of the
200.
Year, over 200
Yeah,
Game of the Year awards and all that.
yeah, it's Game of the Year for 200 years, like or something like that. Yeah.
So, what was your personal highlight from the whole show?
Personal highlight for the whole I did think that the arcane music was beautifully presented. That was so well done. I liked the fact that I got to see Witcher 4. Mafia looked really good. Having some semblance of hope with those 3 Balatro wins. That I was like, oh, maybe I'll get there. But no, Stellar Blade let me down. But I'll still love her. Then, yeah. I think, seeing Harrison Ford as well, because even Dad walked in and Dad was like, kind of like standing in the doorway while still like looking in because Harrison Ford was on screen.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
It was cool.
Probably
Baller move.
very baller move. Jokes didn't land for me at all. Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Probably only Sam Lake's kind of bit land for me. Probably The Witcher 4 was my biggest sort of highlight moment,
Yeah.
to be honest.
So for me, from the awards side of things, my big highlight was the Game Changer Award. I thought that was a beautiful moment. and I thought it was really nice to highlight something that has been going on in the industry and addressing it in a way
Yeah.
that was positive.
Yes.
From a games showcase side of things, by the way, I still think that the Xbox showcase earlier in the year is still the best showcase this year.
It was very good.
I don't think it's been topped yet. This one didn't top it. Sorry, didn't do it. But still really good. I think the best game shown for me was Mafia: The Old Country, as someone who is not a Mafia fan. That
was
really,
very good.
really caught my eye in a way that made me go, oh, I want to play this. Like, I actually want to play that game. But all the others that we mentioned as well were really eye-catching and interesting. And then from the show aspect, as an entertainment piece, I do think that the 21 Pilots and orchestra performance was fucking phenomenal. And that, for me, was the highlight of the whole show.
Yes, that was very good. Actually, another good positive thing about the show was the absence of world premiere.
Yeah, it's nice.
That was great.
You don't need to hear that. You don't need to hear that at all.
We know. We get it. We haven't seen that.
It's also nice that there was no interruptions. There was from the Muppets, and they're allowed to do it, but there was no interruptions from anyone who wanted to nominate the award to Bill Clinton or anything like that. But,
there was no arse wipes like yeah. No, it's a professionally ran show. It was a good it was a good show.
Yeah, it went really well.
Yeah.
I have one last thing I want to talk about before we finish up. Before we wrap up.
Don't do it.
Before we wrap it up. Before the Muppets get us to wrap it up. And that is, so I think we both thought that, and we understood why last year they didn't do it. You know, Grand Theft Auto were able to have their own day last year. They didn't need the Game Awards. Yeah. But because they were announced, and we haven't heard from them in a year, and it's set to come out next year, I think we both felt pretty confident that they probably would show up at the Game Awards. And especially when I saw The Witcher 4 first, I was like, come on, the last thing has to be GTA. Like, how could you go bigger than Witcher 4? You need, has to be GTA. That's how you get bigger. We haven't seen anything.
GTA 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was surprised.
Do you think it's still coming out in 2025?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, I don't think Rockstar would have said it if they weren't ready.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting a bit.
They're just too
though.
good.
They're amazing, but they also are ones they would never like. Okay, they might announce something, and then things happen that are unexpected.
Yeah, that's true.
If it came down to it, and it was either release it knowing it's not ready, or delay it, I think Rockstar would delay it because they can afford to.
True. Yeah. They can. Yeah, but I still have faith it will come out next year. I just don't think it's going to be like early next year. It's going to be at earliest summer.
So and that would be the best time because it's such a summery game to play, you know. When do we see the next GTA 6 trailer? Like, not exact, but kind of timeline wise. When do you think we see something from GTA 6 again?
I think there's always developer directs and showcase and stuff in like February, so maybe something around then. January, February, I think.
And does it take the form of do they show it themselves? It's just like you literally tune in for Grand Theft Auto, or do PlayStation or Xbox get to be the ones to show it?
They'll show it themselves.
I think so, yeah. I think because it's not at the Game Awards, they're showing it themselves. I don't think PlayStation or Xbox get to show it
because of the fact that like they have their own engine that they don't share with anybody. Like. They are a very successful independent company because they're not tied to anyone.
Yeah,
when they release something, it's got to release on everything. You know what I mean? They're not tied to anybody, so I think they would make it their own thing, and they know that they can do it because it's Rockstar. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever your opinion is, like even if you didn't enjoy, let's say hypothetically didn't enjoy GTA 5, it's still a well-made game. Or even if you found
incredible.
Red Dead 2 kind of boring to play, that's
incredible,
a fucking marvel of technological ingenuity. So yeah, they can definitely do it themselves for sure. They have no hands tied behind their back.
Yeah. What'll be interesting though is if it moves. I'm not so sure. I'm getting a little bit like, oh, I don't know. Like we haven't seen anything in a year. Like that's a long time, but we'll see. If it were to move, I'm just saying, okay, so it's going to win most anticipated game 2 years in a row then.
True. Yeah, yeah. We got that one right. We did get that award right. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone got that right. That just is the most anticipated game.
True,
Every year until it comes out.
Yeah, like Tears of the Kingdom and Elden Ring.
Exactly. Like yeah, it's in the same like
Yeah.
vein as those. But I think that's going to wrap up this week's episode and our thoughts on the Game Awards 2024. Again, massive congratulations to Team Asobi for Astrobot winning Game of the Year, but also massive congratulations to each and every single studio who won awards and to all the nominees. You know, like you don't get nominated for nothing. And
True.
I think while there's still issues with the Game Awards, and it might be fun in the future to do like an episode on how we would fix the Game Awards or what we would do different about the Game Awards, which will never be listened to by, you know, but but I do think that it was an improvement on last year, and I do think it was a pretty good show for the 10th anniversary of the Game Awards. But we want to hear from you guys. What were your personal highlights from the Game Awards? What do you think of the show as a whole? Are you happy that Astrobot won Game of the Year? Do you feel like your game got snubbed? Let us know what that was. And yeah, do let us know which games were your favorite games shown at the showcase. And how big a pizza should I get Eric to buy me? Let me know. If you're watching us on YouTube, jump down in the comments to share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for future content, including next week's episode, which will be our last episode of 2024. Yeah, bringing the year to an end. We'll be talking about our whole highlights of the whole year, and we want to hear yours too. If you guys listen to us on audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on the Game Awards 2024. Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. We will be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.